Coming up on Good Day Atlanta, they may be finally moving out of their parents' basement, but don't expect them to buy a house anytime soon. Why millennials are waiting to become homeowners. Welcome back, 8:37 your time. The housing market has been slow to recover from the Great Recession, and one of the main reasons why is the lack of first-time home buyers.
Well, it turns out millennials, that generation born between 1980 and 2000, well, they're the problem. Good Day's Karen Graham spoke to real estate expert John Adams about the trend. What is this all about?
Karen, millennials, as we know, are sort of slow to make big decisions. They're finally moving out of their parents' basement, but they're not ready to buy a house. And so the whole idea of delaying things is coming over into the housing market, and so much of real estate sales is a chain reaction. Somebody has to sell their house to buy the next one, to buy the next one. If nobody's buying that first-time house, then there's a problem all the way down the line.
That problem being?
They're not buying. They're not willing to make a commitment to buy a house. They're reluctant to go into debt, and these things are compounding. We're just not seeing the home buying we ought to out of this generation.
Here's the big question. Why? Why are they waiting so long?
Karen, I think there are a number of reasons. The recession allowed them to see right up close what it's like to not have a robust job market. And their wages really have not kept pace with inflation, even though we haven't had much inflation during this time period. So I think jobs, or the concern about jobs, has something to do with it. Additionally, it may be just a lifestyle choice. You know, there are obligations when you buy a house. You're responsible for that. Well, if this is somebody who's not wanted to get married, they don't want to have kids, they've sort of helicoptered around for a while, and I don't mean to be disparaging, it's just a difference, cultural difference. And additionally, prices of houses actually have gone up a substantial amount since they hit their low in about 2009. They're almost back to where they were right now, and everybody said that was a bubble, so we'll see what happens. But this is a difficult time to be entering the home market. And in addition, one more thing, loans, while they're starting to loosen up a little bit, one of the reactions to the housing bubble was to really tighten up on mortgage underwriting guidelines. You remember we used to be able to get a loan with nothing down, or
yes,
we could get a piggyback loan where you just didn't have to come up with much of a down payment. Today, those are virtually non-existent. And it's hard for a millennial to, especially if they haven't quite found their career niche yet, to put that money aside to buy a house.
It sounds like they're just scared.
Well, I don't know that it's scared so much as it's just the bottom line here is they're not ready to make the commitment to buy a house. On average, Zillow just did a study, and they're saying on average in our generation, the baby boomers waited an average of 2.6 years. Millennials are waiting over 6 years of renting before they plan on buying.
So what does all of this mean?
Well, the good news is that most millennials do, in fact, plan on buying a house eventually. But when that's going to happen, we don't know. And this can really have an impact on the housing market. And here's why. For the first time, we are seeing millennials outnumber baby boomers in the housing market. As people like me are getting older, the younger generation is coming along, and they're not buying houses with the enthusiasm that we had expected that they would. So buckle your seatbelt. We'll watch and report.
Buckle your seatbelt indeed. Well, John will be answering questions on our Fox 5 Facebook page. So if you have any questions about home buying or any real estate issue, head over to our Facebook page in the 9 a.m. hour and ask away.